Hey guys, Mega Godzilla Final Wars here, and today there's going to be a remake of my Kaiju OC profile. Or Kaiju OC Talk, or whichever one you prefer, I am okay with it. Anyways, we are going to be talking about my first ever Kaiju OC. Now, for starters, I'm going to say this. For those of you who say that my Kaiju OC is unoriginal because he's a Godzilla and all, I was going to tell you this. Go the frick away. For one, this is my character, not yours. It's bad enough that the majority of my favorite YouTubers, like for example, Gorgeous 2001, Red the Fire Kaiju, Roseguard the Space Dragon, Skyzilla, and Storm, or Hazard the Dragon. It's bad enough that they changed their OCs into something else because apparently that their OCs were unoriginal because they were Godzillas. So I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to tell you that these Kaiju OC are mine. And for starters, I'm not going to change them. So no matter how many people in the comments below say that I need to change them, I'm just going to tell you this. You're going to have to back the frick away. Because this is my OC, not yours. And you don't get to tell me on when I should change it or if I should change it or not. If I'll keep it like how the way they are, I'll keep it. Besides, we're going to stay like that anyways. So, I just thought I might give you guys a heads up. So if anyone says that my Kaiju OC are unoriginal, go away. Just go away. I'm keeping them as the way they are. And nothing is going to change that. Nothing. Besides, I created them back in 2017. I ain't giving up on them now. Anyways, let's get started. So, you guys know him. You have seen him in action on my original YouTube channel. He goes by many names. He goes by the name of the God of Anger, King of the Mega Monsters, King of all Godzillas, and the leader of the Mega Kaiju Pack. He is Mega Godzilla himself. For starters, let's go over his stats first. The first thing we're going to go over is his appearance and his age. Let's get over his age real quick. For starters, his age is over 30,000 years old. He's basically older than Godzilla Earth. By the way, he weighs a bit more heavier than Godzilla Earth. So don't expect Final Wars, Heisei Godzilla, or Legendary Godzilla to pick him up easily. He is just way heavier than Godzilla Earth. Way, way heavier. I haven't decided what his actual weight is, but he is way heavier than Earth. So, besides that, let's just continue. Now, let's go over his real stats. By, for example, appearance. For appearance-wise, he is basically a gigantic version of Godzilla 2000, but with Godzilla 2019, 2004, and Godzilla 2000 dorsal spines. He also has a few similar characteristics with Godzilla Earth, for example. Like, for example, his beard. That's one thing that he shares in common with Godzilla Earth. The fact that he has a beard. The other thing that makes him that makes him very similar to Godzilla Earth is the eyes. You guys know that you see some spikes around Godzilla Earth's eyes. But let alone, it's the eye itself, besides the spikes, that Mega Godzilla shares in common with Godzilla Earth. Like, You see his eye, take a look at it, and you realize what I'm talking about. For what color he is, no, hang on, I'm not done talking about that. Sometimes I get a little confused sometimes, folks, so bear with me here. Anyways, he has Tyrannosaurus Rex-like teeth. He has Indominus Rex spikes on his, under his arm, basically. Like, you know what I'm talking about when you see the Indominus Rex and you see the little spikes or quills on her arms? That's what I'm talking about. Like Shin Godzilla, he has a very long tail. But also he shares something in common with Shin Godzilla. The fact that it can basically have a mind of its own. As a matter of fact, you know how Venom, like how Eddie basically gets Venom to come out of his body and basically turns to the form that he is? That it's very similar to that, but different. Mega Godzilla can actually get his tail to look like King Ghidorah 2019's head. And not just that, the tail can talk either way if it summons like if it just turns to its actual form or it just stays like a normal tail. Like a T-Rex, he also shares very similar characteristics with a T-Rex. The fact that he has really good hearing, good sense of smell, powerful jaws, and binocular vision. And the reason why he has that will be explained later on. You can also feel vibrate. Yeah, paleontologists have theorized that T-Rex can actually feel vibrations through the pads of his feet, and the vibrations can go up the skeleton and into the inner ear. That's similar to Mega Godzilla. Except he can hear you for over 500 miles away. So even if you're not at the border of his territory, and like say for example, if Godzilla Earth is walking around and he takes one massive step, and he's like 500 miles away from Mega Godzilla's current location, Mega Godzilla can instantly hear him, because he can feel the vibrations through the pads of his own feet. Now let's talk about what color he is. His spines, for one, they are dark purple because, let me explain why. Back then, he used to be red. The top side of him is red. It still is red to this day. Underside of him is dark brown. That remained the same. But the spines were green. And King Ghidorah 3 told me that I need to change that because people have been saying that he looks like an overgrown Christmas tree now. So I was like, you know what, he's actually right. Mega Godzilla does kind of look like an overgrown Christmas tree. So I had to change that. So I changed that to dark purple. Not too dark, but dark enough. Basically, like, similar to Shin Godzilla's beam within a way. That's what I'm talking about. Now moving on to his other stats. Like, say, for example, his origin story. Mega Godzilla's parents were killed before he was actually born. He basically remained on his own for quite a long time, like say like a week or two. Wasn't until he came across two skullcrawlers attacking a Barapasaurus, a sauropod. And one skullcrawler was approaching him, and he didn't show any fear. Wasn't until Legendary Godzilla showed up and killed the skullcrawlers and decided to adopt Mega Godzilla. Because he and Gargiran had a son originally, but he was killed by King Ghidorah. So, Mega Godzilla became Legendary Godzilla and Gorgeron's adopted son. For the past years, Godzilla has been training his son to become a better fighter when he became a teenager. When he became a teenager, Legendary Godzilla put him through some hardcore training. And since then, Mega Godzilla's been doing quite well. It wasn't until 20 years later, Mega Godzilla became a fully grown adult, and he wondered if there was more of his kind out there. Of course, Gorgeron and Legendary Godzilla, they heard what Mega Legendary King Ghidorah did to Mega Godzilla's kind. So Mega Godzilla didn't know exactly who killed his kind, but he had hopes that there was some still out there, and he made a journey to go find others of his kind. And of course, it ended up working because he ended up meeting a few surviving Mega Godzillas along with his surviving grandfather. I'm not going to tell everything, but I will tell one more thing. He also ends up meeting his future wife. That is Mega Female Snow Godzilla. And no, not Mothra. I'm against Mega Mothra and Mega Godzilla's relationship. Besides, one of them is even Mega Godzilla's stepsister. Yes, there's a Mega Mothra who is in fact his stepsister. And plus, it's kind of pointless because Mega Mothras are very similar to the Mothras. They can just reproduce by themselves. They don't even need a mate. So what's the point of that? Plus, there's one more thing. We're talking about a giant overgrown dinosaur and a giant overgrown moth. How's that even supposed to work? What would the kid even look like? Heck, I don't even understand why people even ship Godzilla and Mothra. But hey, whatever, I guess. I guess that'll remain for a while until people see a female Godzilla and just be like, okay, time to move on to Godzilla and female Godzilla. Besides that, let's move on. Now, let's go over his abilities. For one, he has an atomic breath that's powerful enough he can destroy almost 500 suns at a split second. That's how powerful his atomic breath is. It's blue with a red ray around it, with lightning surrounding it, like surrounding the area of the atomic breath itself. The way how he charges up his atomic breath, it's very similar to Legendary Godzilla, Godzilla 2000, Earth Godzilla, and Ultima. Now if you're wondering, how does that work? Well, the first thing happens is the same charging up the atomic. The first thing that happens is the way how Godzilla 2000 charges up the atomic breath. That happens first. Then later, Ultima, with that, then after that, Ultima is charging up the way how he charges up the atomic breath. Combine that with 2000. Then later, combined Earth Godzilla with that. Then finally, Legendary Godzilla. Plus, Legendary Godzilla has those strange markings on the dorsal spine, on his dorsal spines. So I decided to have the markings to be red, so that way people could see what I'm talking about. How the way Mega Godzilla charges up his atomic breath. Plus, the electromagnetic waves is one thing, then the rings around it, and plus how the way the atomic breath charging up goes all the way up to his tail. Similar to Ultima, but in a way. So, yeah.